So Harley Benton has just released a new, in my opinion, very cool looking guitar, the Harley Benton St-80FR MN Radiant Red, and it has gotten very good reviews as far as I have seen. But my first thought when I saw this, that this was very similar to the Modern Plus, which came actually 1 year ago, I think. So I compiled a list comparing all the specs top to the bottom, and just for fun I will also very subjectively rank them, which one of the two I prefer. And we've done all this in the best tool ever, Excel. So look at this. On the left here you have the new one, the red one, and the right hand side we have the green one. So here you can see all the specs. I will go row by row, and as I said, I will subjectively choose which one I prefer. And if I prefer the green one, I will make this green. If I prefer the red one, this one is red. You get the idea. And at the end, I will, overall see which one of these two I prefer. Okay, let's start. So first of all, the price is exactly the same. We know exactly. So for me, that's a draw. Then for the body, the red one is basswood and the green one is alder. And maybe alder is more, traditional. I don't really care, personally. So for me, this is also a draw. The neck, the new one is roasted Canadian maple, roasted and flamed. But I see in the pictures, they are both flamed. This is also a draw. The red one has a roasted Canadian maple fingerboard, and the Modern Plus has a laurel fingerboard, which is a little bit more darker looking. And personally, I prefer the Canadian maple, but this is of course their personal preference. And the red one, they call it rounded fingerboard edges, and the green one right angled rounded fingerboard edges. I know, for me, they feel very alike. So this is a draw. The same with the fingerboard inlays and markings, they are also the same. Then we get to the neck profile. The red one has an asymmetrical C, which the first fret is 20.5 millimeters, and at the 22nd fret, 33.5 millimeters. And on the modern one, you have a D thickness, with the first fret 20.5 millimeters, and at the 22nd fret, 22.5 millimeters. So for me, actually, for two instances, I prefer the modern one because it has 1 millimeter less thick at the 22nd fret, and also it has a D shape, which I will prefer, which my Harley Benton TE62 has. So for me, this is very clearly a win for the modern one. They have the same action truss rod, so this is a draw. And the neck to body transition look very similar, so this is a draw as well. They have the same fingerboard radius, they're both compound, so again a draw. I don't know about you, do you feel a big difference on this one? I have just tried, I think, one guitar with the compound radius fretboard, and I couldn't say. Maybe it was a little bit different, but if nobody had told me, I'm sure if I had noticed any difference, to be honest. The scale is exactly the same as well. So you see a lot of orange here, a lot of draw. So again, they are very similar. The nut width is 43 millimeters on the red one and 42. 1 millimeter difference. I know I prefer not to have too wide necks, so I guess I prefer the modern one, but I'm not sure if this is like a real difference in reality. I don't know. They have the same frets, and they look really nice. They kind of rounded edges, so you don't feel that on the fret edges. I think it looks very, very cool. But they both have that, so this is a draw. And for the pickups, this is of course hard to judge because the red one only has one pickup, the bridge pickup, and the modern one has an HSS setup. And this is again more preference. I like to use the neck pickups sometimes. It sounds better for cleans, I think. Again, you don't buy the red ones for cleans, but still. So if I choose the modern one, you know, just to have more options. They both have a volume control, obviously, so this is a draw. And the red one, I think the big thing with this one is, of course, it has a Floyd Rose 1000. So not a special one, this is like a real Floyd Rose. And I had one guitar a couple years ago. I checked it with the Floyd Rose, it worked well, but I still think it was a hassle. I never really get into that Floyd Rose, you know, vibe. I still think it was a hassle to change strings, so I like never did that. But you, of course, this is a big selling point of the guitar. I think if you want a Floyd Rose, this is, you know, of course, a big plus. For me, this is not a big plus. I really prefer, you know, any other bridge beside that. So for me personally, I will choose the modern one. But I think this is, of course, the big selling point with this guitar, is that it has a real Floyd Rose. Then I think something that surprised me. No, the modern one has locking tuners. They look great. This new one, you know, it has a Floyd Rose, so it has a locking nut. But still, I still prefer to have locking tuners, you know, just to, it's more easy to set up. And look at pictures, you just look at like standard tuners. And they seem to be 15:1 gear ratio, so they're probably very, you know, nice for standard tuners. But no, for the same price, I still prefer locking tuners. So in this case, I think the modern ones wins again. Both are chrome hardware, so this is a draw. The same kind of strings, you know, this doesn't really matter, but it's, especially in the Floyd Rose case, it's nice that it's tuned in standard tuning if you want that, of course. Just, you know, it can be a hassle to change. Then the color, I think the red looks nice, but look at this one. I prefer green, so for me this is an astounding win for the green team, but yeah, very subjectively. And both had fluorescent neck markings, so this is a draw. And of course you have a locking nut, because it's a Floyd Rose, and a graphite nut for the more modern. And again, I suppose this is a draw, it doesn't really matter for me. It's still, you know, this is more depending on the bridge or anything else. So for me, this is a draw. Then of course you have a couple more things on the modern ones, because, you know, it has more pickups. It has a 5-way switch, and it's a mint green pickguard, and it has a tone control with a push-pull, you know. And if you want a more versatile guitar, you will not buy this Floyd Rose one. You will pick something like the modern one. So for me, it isn't like fair to compare these three items with the Floyd Rose one. They are so different from the other guitar. And I think that really boils down it for me, which one I would choose. You can just look here, I haven't counted the colors. They are more green than red ones here, but a lot is orange, so a lot is similar. For me, if I would buy one of these guitars, you know, I would choose the modern one. But if you really are looking for a Floyd Rose equipped guitar, I think this new one looks really, really good. It's very similar to the modern one, and I know the modern has also got very good reviews, and also the new red one. So, you know, again, the biggest thing is, which kind of bridge do you want? Would you want a Floyd Rose or something other? Either way, I think you will be really satisfied. Thank you for watching. Hope I helped you somewhat in your decision. And, you know, have a nice day and play some guitar.